Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about dealing with difficult clients. Yep, they happen, but we're going to talk about, one, how you can prevent having to deal with any of this, and that's through having a proper screening process, and we're going to talk about that. But we're also going to talk about dealing with them if for some reason the screening process doesn't work. And so this is going to be a jam-packed way to talk about and to deal with these things because they come up. Things happen. No relationship is perfect, right? There's going to be issues or potential issues, discussion issues. And we're going to talk about those. And let's go. First of all, if you're new here, my name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help businesses and people thrive. So welcome. I go live, generally speaking, Monday through Friday right now at 11. So tune in if you have a chance. If not, catch it on the replay. If you have comments, questions, concerns, things of that nature, please make sure to throw them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them as I have time. Don't always have time, but I will get to them as soon as I can, if they warrant a response. If there's a topic that you would like to know more about, I'm happy to do that too. So make sure you leave me a message in there, and let's get started, shall we? All right, so first of all, one of the very most important things you can do is screen your potential clients for issues. Now, not everybody's going to be a good fit. Okay, that's just a reality. So the first step in screening someone is eliminate the people that you don't want to help. And I know that sounds like, well, duh, but that's a different issue entirely. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's going to be people that can't afford you, like on all spectrums. Either they don't want to spend the money, fine, that's a red flag for your services, which it's up to you on who you pick. Then there's going to be people that are going to demand more than what you're expecting to give. And so it's important that you start with the relationship with as little expectation as possible. What do I mean by that? So in other words, you don't jump into a full-on relationship with someone that you've never met. Set up procedures and processes, things that help balance the relationship out. One of the things I do is have a client intake form because I want to get to know the person before they engage me to see if they are someone that I want to work with, if it's even a matter that I can take. And the same should be done for you. Now, how you do that is up to you. The other thing is I have things like, for instance, they need to schedule appointments, not just show up. Why? Because I'm busy doing things. And if I have people showing up, I never get to work on the cases and matters that I'm working on. So you want to make sure that you set these expectations appropriately, because when you do, you're going to have a better relationship with your clients to begin with. Now, so that's just a precursor to this. So set expectations, make sure you're declining the clients that show you red flags, and you know what they are. Like, I don't need to tell you what the red flags are, although we will talk about that at a future date. But this one is specifically, these are for people that you've already got difficult clients, or you've got people that are demanding more than what it originally started out with. When someone becomes unreasonable, it is a natural instinct to fire back and to start typing in, figuratively speaking, all caps. Someone attacks you, attacks your prize, accuses you of something that you did or did not do, or your associates, whoever it is that's working with them. Okay, so number one, remain calm. I know it's hard, but you've got to take a step back and feel for this person, right? Like, by remaining calm, you're going to de-escalate the situation, whatever it may be. Okay. So remain calm, number one. I know it's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. But, and here's the next thing. You want to give enough time between when they send the thing that's upsetting to you to respond to it. Now, you have to balance that with step number 3, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but be calm, and time will help you respond appropriately. To think about it, because our brains are hardwired to look to protect ourselves. And you shooting back some obnoxious email or some obnoxious text or some voicemail or something of that nature only makes the situation worse. So don't do that. Calmness. Next thing. Listen or read closely to what they're saying. What is their concern? Why are they feeling the way that they're feeling? In some instances, you're going to disagree with what they have to say, and that's fine. But you need to listen. Refrain from responding immediately, okay? Like in the moment. I'm not saying don't respond, and that's actually step number 3. But the step number 2 is listening closely. So many people, we listen with the intent of responding rather than just listening. Okay. Now, please know that I'm not perfect at this. I'm a human being. I make mistakes too. I don't listen as well as I should. Sometimes I respond in ways that I shouldn't. But I'm saying these are what you want to do to bring it down and really get to the bottom of the situation. Okay. So number 3, reply promptly. What does promptly mean? Don't wait weeks or months to reply to the person. Reply reasonably soon. Like if someone has an issue with something you've done or that someone of your associates have done or someone of your employees have done, reply as promptly as possible. Even if it's something to say we're investigating, we will talk with our employee and we will get back to you with any action that we may have. Okay? So even if it's something as simple as that, okay, very easy, there's no emotion involved. You're not firing back. You're not hitting that lizard brain. You're not hitting that defensive brain where you're just going to like hammer them and tell them how bad and wrong they are. You're going to want to reply promptly, even if it's simply to say, we're going to investigate. Okay, next thing. You're going to want to document the situation. What do I mean by that? First of all, take notes, right? Like if they're verbally talking to you, take notes on what it is that they're concerned about. Make sure that it's thorough and complete. If it's an email, make sure you're saving that email so that you have a record of what happened, especially if it's one of your employees that you need to talk to about it so that you can refer exactly to that email rather than paraphrasing and saying things that are wrong, okay? So document the situation so that if it needs to get escalated, yeah, okay. If you need to escalate the problem to something else, somewhere else, heaven forbid it goes to a legal action, that you've got the documentation that proves your position, these things that happened, notes of that nature. Okay. Number 5, you're going to want to identify the problem. Why are they mad? What is it that they're frustrated about? What is it causing them to be difficult, right? Is it an unrealistic expectations? Is it that your company or person dropped the ball? What is it that's causing this consternated issue, right? How is it negatively affecting them? And how could you potentially do better? Okay, and that's actually number 6. Suggest a solution. If a client feels like you're not giving them the time of day or the time that they need, then discuss with them what they think would be reasonable given the situation and circumstances and needs of the client. Okay? So this is an important step. You need to suggest a solution. There's nothing worse when a company, one, won't admit that they screwed up, like legitimately so. I'm not suggesting that they, that unlegitimately, but illegitimately. And 2, they won't do anything about it. I've had several of these types of companies. And one thing that I always say to people, A company that is everything is great and no problems whatsoever, that's easy. There's never a problem with that. But when a company shines is when something bad happens and what they do to fix it. You can actually win a customer for life or a client for life by the way you handle something, by the way that you listen to them and make sure that their needs, their feelings are validated when it is a legitimate claim, right? Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're off in la la land and there's nothing you can do to fix that, right? Like you can't fix it if they're expecting you to eat, sleep, drink, and do whatever and fix their problem, okay? That's not a realistic solution. But in other instances, like I had a client that voiced a concern to me, and so I switched the way I was doing things because this client had been upset with me, and I fixed it because I value that client, and I want to make sure I maintain that relationship. They're one of my best clients, and I like working with them, and they like working with me. Okay, so suggesting a solution. See if you can solve their problem. See if they have a solution to the problem. That's part of the listening part. Number 7, this is a little more sad, but sometimes you just have to do it. You have to consider terminating the client. Sometimes it's just not a good fit. You've worked together for a little bit of time or a long time, and it's just not a good fit any longer. You're not able to give them what they want, and they're not able to get what they want from you. So sometimes you're going to have to terminate that relationship, and that can be multitude. What you decide to do with that is up to you, okay? Make sure that you're honoring your contract if you have one with the person, which I highly recommend having a contract. Make sure you're honoring that contract. If you don't have one, please get one. And consider terminating the client if you can, if it fits within that. And if it needs refunding, then you might have to refund money. I don't know. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying depending on the situation, depending on the contract, I think there's lots of reasons to do that. But getting out of that relationship so that they can find someone that they're happier with, that they want to work with, instead of it being someone that you're not able to meet their needs and it's a miserable situation. Okay. Number 8. This is probably the most important part of this. You're going to want to review the situation. Take all of those things that I've just talked about and say to yourself, how can we be better? What did we screen properly? Did we not screen properly? And then go down the list of things that you think you could have done better and make sure to implement them appropriately so that you don't have that come up again, if at all possible. Now, nothing is perfect. Things get through. Problems happen. There's no perfect solution to any problem, but you'll find the more you improve on these steps, the better the relationships that you'll have with your clients and the less stress that you'll have and the less difficulty that you'll have. But by reviewing the situation and implementing the changes, you're going to have a lot more successful relationship with your clients than if you just take it as one person that's speaking out that's being difficult. Because while that might be true, there's always some blame. I didn't say a lot. Don't hear me. I said
it's some blame.
Okay, it's some blame to go around, right? Like no relationship fails because of one person. It takes two to make that relationship hurt, in some respects. So take the reviewing of the situation and put that policy, that procedure, whatever it is that needs to be fixed in there to make sure that it is better the next time, that you have a better client, better expectations, so on and so forth. If you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and know we go live Monday through Friday, except for holidays. And then I need a day off here or two. But tune in. Hope to see you soon. Bye. Don't forget to hit that bell icon, by the way. Bye.